Ladies and gentlemen, what's good? This is Intervlog, and I'm back again. And when I say I'm back, I mean I'm back with something that honestly got me hyped from the jump. I'm talking real excitement. The kind where you're walking around shaking your head like, nah, this can't be the same place. If you're African, if you love Africa, if you believe in Pan-African unity, if you're part of the diaspora thinking about reconnecting with the motherland, listen, this message right here is for you. This isn't just another random update. This is about transformation, visible transformation, the kind you can see with your own eyes. Today I'm talking about Burkina Faso, and not just talking. I'm telling you what I'm personally seeing, what I'm personally feeling as I move through these streets. Because the narrative people had about this country a few years ago, it does not match what I'm looking at right now. Everywhere I turn, I see development. I'm talking east, west, left, right, construction, new buildings rising, fresh paint, glass panels shining in the sun, modern architecture with sharp edges and bold designs. And these aren't tiny little structures hidden behind walls. These are statement buildings, luxury homes, multi-story commercial spaces, hotels, offices, neighborhoods that look planned, not random. Some of these buildings are fully completed, looking polished and professional. Others are still under construction, scaffolding up, workers moving, materials stacked. But even halfway done, you can already tell they're aiming high. You can already see the vision. And here's the part that really gets me excited. The majority of what I'm seeing is being built by local professionals. Local engineers, local construction teams, local planners. That matters. Because when leadership started pushing for local capacity to be strengthened, people stepped up. And now the results are right there in concrete and steel. I'm not seeing a one-off project. I'm seeing a wave, a serious wave of development. The kind that makes you pause and say, okay, something is happening here. Now let's talk about the diaspora angle, because that's powerful too. There have been discussions about extending citizenship opportunities to Afro-Descendants who want to reconnect and invest. And that's strategic. That's not just symbolic, it's economic, it's cultural. It's about rebuilding bridges. And what really impressed me? When members of the diaspora came back, some of them didn't just buy property and chill. They actually participated in community development efforts. There's a major road, Thomas Sankara Avenue, where tiling and paving projects were underway. On one side, officials were working. On another side, Afro-Descendants joined in.
We are here today because we answered the clarion call from His Excellency Captain Ibrahim Traore, the Lion of Africa, the leader who is fearless, the leader who is transformational, the leader who is truly for the people, a man who represents what we have wanted in an African man. So because he put out the call, you Burkinabe people, you have done all the heavy lifting, you have chased away, you have raised, you have made the Westerners, particularly France, leave Burkina Faso running like mice out of Burkina Faso. The least we can do as African diaspora is to come and support you. When the president started this program of building the streets of Ouagadougou, the streets of cities around Burkina Faso, and all he wanted was bricks and cement, Ambassador Kalibuli, we had a Zoom, he told us about the call from the president. We said, yes, Ambassador, we are with you. So today, we are donating 23 tons of cement to be our contribution to the program that the president has launched. We will continue to support, we will continue to contribute. I want you to know that we are coming back end of April for the cultural week, and we will continue to bring more bricks and more cement. So you guys, as Burkinabe people, we are so proud of you.
That image, that's unity in action. That's people saying, we're not just visiting, we're building too. The pedestrian walkways there are massive, wide, structured, clean. Wider than some roads I've seen in other cities. It feels intentional. It feels like somebody sat down and planned this carefully. Now let's talk lifestyle, because I know that's what people want to know. Okay, cool, but what's it like to actually stay there? If you're new and you don't have property yet, there are established hotels in Ouagadougou with international standards. Clean rooms, modern bathrooms, comfortable beds, workspace setup, Wi-Fi, swimming pools, professional reception areas. It doesn't feel disconnected from the global standard, but what's really happening is long-term settlement. People are buying land. And from what I'm hearing and seeing, land transactions are being handled through structured channels. That gives confidence, and confidence attracts investment. I'm walking through neighborhoods not far from the center, around major avenues, and I'm seeing homes that would fit right into upscale suburbs anywhere in the world. Wide roads, quiet streets, modern gates, stone facades, white exteriors with dark accents, balconies, large windows, clean landscaping, and it's peaceful. That's another thing. The atmosphere feels calm, organized, not chaotic. Then there are commercial zones, banks, office buildings, hotels like Zindnaba, standing tall with contemporary design. These aren't basic concrete blocks. These are sleek, professional structures that signal ambition. There's also talk and visible progress on entirely new urban development projects, planned cities designed with long-term growth in mind, roads mapped out, public transport considerations, structured layouts. If you understand real estate, you know early investment in emerging urban zones can change everything over a decade or two. Number 2. What really catches my attention, though, is the cleanliness. Community tiling initiatives, walkways paved, open sandy areas covered with stone or concrete. The difference between sand and pavement is more powerful than people realize. It changes how a place feels. It changes how it photographs. It changes how people move. And as more neighborhoods get paved, the whole visual identity shifts. What used to be described as underdeveloped starts looking structured and intentional. This is a country that for years was labeled as one of the poorest in the world. And now I'm walking through streets thinking, wait, this looks better than some places that are called wealthy. Clean road markings, landscaped medians, organized pedestrian paths, modern signage. I see cranes in the distance. I see gravel piles. I see trucks moving materials. That tells me development isn't slowing. It's ongoing. I see billboards appreciating leadership efforts. I see citizens engaged. I see diaspora investors exploring property. I see construction crews working with focus. I see neighborhoods expanding outward. And the energy? Optimistic, ambitious, forward-looking. Now let me be clear. No country is perfect. Every nation has challenges. But what I'm describing is visible infrastructure momentum. Tangible changes you can stand in front of and point to. And what excites me personally is the psychological shift. When people start believing they can build their own future, that changes behavior. It changes investment patterns. It changes how young people think about opportunity. I'm seeing pride in development, I'm seeing communities that don't want their surroundings to look neglected. I'm seeing people invest in appearance, order, and structure. For Afro-Descendants thinking about relocation, this matters. Because you're not just looking for emotional connection, you're looking for livability, roads, housing, clean environments, investment potential. And what I'm seeing suggests serious effort in those areas. And the housing boom? It's not subtle. You can literally drive a few minutes and spot new rooftops, fresh paint, unfinished frameworks waiting to be completed. The skyline in certain districts looks different than it did just a few years ago. That's growth. And honestly, I didn't expect to be this impressed. I came curious, I came observant. But as I kept moving from street to street, I found myself saying, wow, okay. It's one thing to hear about transformation. It's another thing to see it in bricks, tiles, and glass. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm energized. I feel like I'm witnessing a chapter of visible urban change. And whether you agree with every political narrative or not, you can't ignore cranes in the sky and fresh pavement under your feet. If you've never considered Burkina Faso before, maybe it's time to at least study it. If you're in the diaspora wondering where opportunities might emerge, maybe it's worth researching. If you're African thinking about what localized development can look like, maybe it's worth observing. Because what I'm seeing right now is motion, construction, expansion, intention. And this is just one update. There's more to explore, more neighborhoods, more projects, more conversations to have. So yeah, this is Intervlog. I had to bring this to you. I had to share what I'm witnessing with my own eyes. The housing surge, the collaboration energy, the visible infrastructure push, the ambition. Burkina Faso is moving. That's what I see. That's what I feel walking these streets. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying curious. And trust me, we're not done. We're going deeper next time. Stay locked in. This is the end of our program today. See you on Intervlog same time tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon to get new video updates. Thank you for watching Intervlog. Thank you.